Nice to meet you. Hello, everyone. Just are the ones I've seen most over the last few years. Right, good.
Hello. Okay, we're going to start with Sky with Ian. Just here.
Roy, hello there. Many congratulations on less than 24 hours to go. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling very good, very excited, of course. It's been a hectic week, or certainly a hectic last 3 days, working with the players for the first time, getting to know them, coming to the training ground, which is a very nice training ground. So now it's all about tomorrow and seeing what the actual outcome of any work we've done this week, which is not much, of course, but it's been good to see what the players can do. So I'm really excited, and hopefully the fans will be behind us.
You faced many challenges throughout your career. Where does this one rank? And how much do you draw on the experience that you've had at Fulham and West Brom again?
Yeah.
But similar.
I think you always draw on experiences. Sometimes you draw on them without even knowing you're drawing on them. You don't sort of set out a sort of plan where I'm going to use my experience in this area or that area. But all the time, because it's a game which is always evolving, the training's always evolving, you never come to a training session where it's exactly the same as the one before. I think that's where your experience sort of kicks in. So I am hoping my experience will help. And as far as where does it sit in the order, if you like, of challenges I faced, that's a very difficult question to answer. I think both Fulham and West Brom, at Fulham I had 18 games and West Brom I had 12 games. This is really quite different. It's a 34-game season. We've had a bad start. We've handicapped ourselves by not taking any points in the first 4 games, but there's still 34 games to go. So I've said to the players already, and I haven't given many team talks or talks as such, but the one point I did make to them when I met them was our focus really is on May. It's not on the end of September, because leagues aren't won at the end of September and teams aren't relegated at the end of September.
You've said that you want to see character and desire and people with passion and enthusiasm. Do you sense that a little bit of that has been lacking?
I can't say that. I mean, basically, thanks for reminding me of all the cliches that we managers string out every day. Who doesn't want to see character? Who doesn't want to see discipline? Who doesn't want to see that? I think it's a question really of, when you're working with the players, making certain that those qualities and characteristics you're looking for are encouraged, and that you do your very best to make certain that they're there and they're ready to be taken further onto the field when Saturday comes around. So I've had a year watching press conferences and listening to people talking. I'm going to try very hard not to always say exactly the same thing as everyone else, or to say things which are really obvious to everybody. But I don't see any signs at the moment that any character or enthusiasm or desire is missing. But the games will tell.
What can we expect from you in terms of style of play? Lots been made of how Palace have been playing under Frank de Boer so far this season. What can we expect from you? What can Palace expect from your team?
Well, all styles of play have got to be dependent upon the players who are there to play the game, and it's very difficult to impose a style if you don't have the players who are comfortable with that style. That's pretty obvious to everybody as well. I've seen quite a lot of Crystal Palace over the last 5 years, in particular during my 4 years working with England, and I've seen them progress. I've seen many of the players who are still here improve during that period of time, and I think I've got a clear idea what they're good at and what they can do. So our style needs to be one that helps us win football matches.
You mentioned the fact that you were with England. This is your first job since departing from the job. Did losing to Iceland ever make you question yourself as a coach?
No. Matches do get lost when you're a football coach, especially in tournament football, where when the match is lost, the tournament is over for you. I really enjoyed my time with England. It was a huge honour to have the chance to work with England for 4 years. I have very good memories really of those times and the people I work with and the players I work with. But unfortunately, that's a silly word to use, it's over. You know, that time is gone. That was a chapter in my life, and that chapter is now finished, and I'm really focused on the next one. And as far as I'm concerned, it's Crystal Palace, Crystal Palace, Crystal Palace. It's everyone at the club, hierarchy and players, chairman and owners. And most importantly, perhaps for all of us, it's the fans, because this is a very strong fan base. You know, we get the feeling that we represent South London, that we're a big team in the region, and we mean a lot to people who are either born in this area or who live in this area. So that for me at the moment is all that really matters to me, and I'm happy to be given the chance to work with that team, and I'm hopeful and enthusiastic about what we're going to achieve.
Do you feel that being a former England manager means that there is more scrutiny on you? Perhaps a little bit more pressure?
No, not particularly. I'm a Premier League manager. I'm a Premier League manager of a good Premiership team which has started the season poorly, and that's obviously why I'm here, because if the team had started well, I wouldn't be here. So I'm fully aware of that, and I expect the pressures that all Premiership managers work under, but I don't feel extra pressure because of anything that's happened in my past, be it England, be it Inter, be it Liverpool, be it the Swiss national team or any other team you care to name.
Previous manager was sacked after 4 Premier League matches. How do you look at your first 4 Premier League matches? It starts with Southampton and it's then Manchester United, Manchester City away and Chelsea.
Yeah, I think you've answered your own question there. That's a very difficult start. You know, we're playing 3 of the very top teams in the league. But I don't look at 4 matches, I'm looking at 34 matches. And I think I made that clear right at the start of our conversation that what happens to us will be decided in May. I don't even know the exact date at the moment, but that's when it will be decided. And everything we're going to be doing from now to then will be based on how can we get points during that period and making sure we get enough points to ensure that we stay in the league, because the club has a very clear goal and ambition, and that is to finish this season as a Premiership team.
Roy, hello.
Hello, Nick.
How much do you gauge the Premier League has moved on since you were last directly involved with it?
Yeah. Everything evolves, of course, and the Premier League gets bigger and bigger, more even of a juggernaut in terms of European football terms. You know, we are the league, it seems, where the top players want to play. We are the league which generates the most money, and it's a league where the top players are arriving every day and the top managers are arriving every day. So there's definitely been an evolution in the right way, and I can only congratulate Richard Scudamore and all those at the Premier League for continuing the improvement of what was already, when I left West Bromwich Albion, a very good product in my opinion.
As a Croydon boy, just how much of an extra thrill is there that you start with your local club, and the club when you started as a new club?
Yeah, it's great. It would I suppose when I was a child, my dreams were playing for the club, but I probably would have accepted also if someone said, well, you're not going to play for them, you're not good enough, but one day you'll be good enough to manage them. I think I'd have accepted that. It's been interesting, the journey from where I live in southwest London to Beckenham and to Selhurst Park, and going past so many old places. But I hope that I can safely say I don't live in the past. I've never lived in the past. For me, it's always the present day and the future. So there's a smile from time to time about a memory of a building I pass or a road I pass, but once again, it's nothing which has a huge effect upon me.
Thank you, Natalie.
Natalie?
You're obviously going to get to work with players now, day in,
Yeah.
something you haven't done for 5 years. Do you think you're better suited to this than international football, being able to work with players every single day?
Well, I like to think I'm suited to both, because I've done both on a regular basis, really, over the last 20 years, certainly. You know, I went from club football to the Swiss national team, and then back to Inter, and then I came back to international football with the UAE, back to club football, international with Finland, back to club football, and then England. So there's been constant periods which have been club football and international football. But if I take the sense of your question or try to speculate on the sense of your question, I think I really am happy to be back now in this job on a day-to-day basis. You know, I'm happier that the next job that's come up that I've wanted to do is a club job, which gives me day-to-day work, much more contact with the players, much more chance really to affect the players and the way we play than going from one international job to another.
You said after the Iceland defeat in your press conference, one particularly bad game has caused a lot of damage to me personally. Was there an element of coming back where you've got something to prove so that people aren't defining your England career by one defeat?
Well, careers are defined by small moments, and nothing I can say or do will change that. It was a 4-year period. There was a lot of things in that 4-year period that I think I can look back on with satisfaction. But of course, what we can't look back on with satisfaction is the tournaments and not being able to progress as far in the tournaments as we would like. But as I said earlier, and might not be recorded, of course, by your people, that it's a chapter which is finished. It's very much in the past as far as I'm concerned. And now it's another chapter in the book of life opening for me, and one which I'm really looking forward to, and one which I'm hoping will bring some joy really to the fans of Crystal Palace, because if I could do that, that would be a little bit special, because as you rightly said at the start of this conversation, I am a Croydon boy and didn't actually leave here until I was 24 years of age.
Speaking about the fans, I mean, Steve Parish, when De Boer was on, talks about bringing back a football DNA and a sense of style to fans. And a lot of fans we've spoken to sort of lamented a loss of identity, maybe a loss of style. Will you bring that back?
Well, I mean, first of all, I've got to get to know the players better. I've got to know what our best team is. But what I will say, there's a lot of players here who've been at the club a long time and who've had a lot of success over that period of time, both in terms of helping the club come from the Championship to the Premiership and then keeping them in the Premiership. So there's no reason really why anything that's been very successful in the past can't be continued. And, you know, one always hopes develop further.
I mean, I know you've been here a minute, or so it could be slightly unfair, but 7 goals conceded, none scored, 4 defeats. You are known for getting your teams drilled defensively. What have you specifically managed in the last 3 days to look at and think that's what we have to do first of all?
We've begun our work. We've begun what we think is going to be a way of working, a way of playing, which we hope in the long term will bring success to the team. I don't think any manager should really be saying that after two serious training sessions and a light training session today, if the team succeeds, this is all my work. I think that's something which is really out of the question. But I was heartened by what I saw on the television in the Burnley game last week. I saw a team which I thought dominated the game, defended well. So the least I can hope for is that we can reproduce that tomorrow. And there is an interesting period ahead for me, because day after day training, matches Saturday to Saturday, that's long weeks with the team. I would like to think that whatever we're doing now, we can get a bit better at.
Have you seen enough then in the last couple of days to know that this team will stay up?
I believe the team will stay up, absolutely. I wouldn't have dreamt of taking the job if I didn't believe that the team could stay up, and that I didn't believe that I and my coaching staff would be the right people to do that. Once the chairman made it clear that he thought that we were the right people, then for me there's never been a doubt in my mind. And as I say, this could be a very good year, because if it ends up this season with us still in the Premiership and the Crystal Palace fans happy, then that will be something which will make me very happy.
Thanks, Natalie. Pete from BBC London.
Hello, Pete.
You spoke there about 34 games left in the season, but how important is the game against Southampton? Because with the fixtures coming up after that, there'll only be 30 games left. If you don't start getting results, it's almost
No, I mean, I take that point, and it's obviously a very relevant observation. what one can do about it other than prepare the team as best one can, to give the team as much confidence as you can give the team and as much belief as you can give them to go out and do the job. That's what a football manager can do, especially one that's only been there 2 or 3 days. But I certainly get the feeling that there's no doubt in the players' minds about the importance of this game. There's no doubt in their minds about how much it would be a good game to win, and it's really up to them now, these 11 who are selected, to show they're on the field of play.
So, as far as tax is concerned, you won't try and change too much, because you said you were quite impressed with the way they played it.
Yes, I mean basically there are 1 or 2 players who are coming back from injury, who could turn out to be very, very important players for us in the future. Wilfried Zaha, of course, who's the obvious one, but he's a little bit further out. But there's also people like Tompkins, there's people like Papa Soiree, there's people like Mamadou Sakho, all of whom haven't played for a while, but who knows, they could be very important players going forward too. But I have, I suppose, to some extent in this early period, stuck with what I've already seen and can analyse. And I've got a game on Tuesday, which will be useful because that might give me a chance to look at 1 or 2 other players, and then hopefully going forward after the Manchester games, before the Chelsea games, I'll be in a better position to answer your question, because I'm not in a great position to answer it at the moment after 2 training sessions.
Thank you. Any other broadcast questions?
Can I just check how things stand with your squad?
Yep. Funny enough, I mentioned it there. Wilfried Zaha, as everyone knows, has got a bit more rehabilitation time after his injury. Mamadou Sakho is good, training every day, looking good in training, but obviously hasn't played for, I think it's when was it, April when he got injured? I mean, it's about 5 or 6 months. Hasn't actually played any competitive football, so we're working hard on his physical fitness. And with Papa Soiree, the same thing, an incredible comeback. Wonderful what he's been able to do in training. I don't see any physical signs of injury, but again with him it's a question perhaps of easing him back in to the team, into competitive football. Tompkins is now fit, as is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, so I've got those 2 back.
Thanks very much. That concludes the broadcast section.